Any birthdays in June?
Yeah, his.
His, okay. He's bringing me to blood pressure, and he's having me talk about, unfortunately, men on that side having susceptibilities to kind of quick heart attacks.
Yep.
What happens when the medium himself faces a battle with mortality? At just 30, Tyler Henry, a man who built a career connecting the living with the dead, was forced to face a harsh truth that could change everything we thought we knew about his gift. Could his extraordinary spiritual ability be linked to a serious neurological condition instead of something supernatural? As Tyler fought for his life through multiple brain surgeries, he dropped a candid admission, shedding new light on a decade of mystery. The psychic's hidden health crisis. Behind the captivating persona of Tyler Henry, Hollywood's famed medium known for bridging the worlds of the living and the dead, lies a striking and deeply personal story of medical struggle. At just 30 years old, Tyler was faced with a life-altering health crisis that brought not only physical danger, but also new questions about the very nature of his spiritual gift. Diagnosed with a congenital brain cyst evolving into a malignant tumor, his condition required multiple emergency surgeries, forcing him to confront a reality where his body and mind were fragile and vulnerable. The connection between these neurological challenges and his psychic abilities soon became impossible to ignore, complicating the narrative fans had followed for years. This intersection between medicine and mysticism stirred intense debate. Some viewed Tyler's admissions as a groundbreaking revelation, while others saw it as validation of long-held skepticism about psychic phenomena. The pressure of intracranial swelling and brain inflammation, medically known as hydrocephalus, meant that areas involved in perception and communication were physically affected. Doctors reported shifts in brainwave patterns, even moments when part of his brain appeared asleep, raising genuine questions about how his psychic experiences might relate to altered neurological states. Yet Tyler continued to navigate this delicate balance between his mysterious gifts and medical reality without fully revealing all the details up front. The severity of Tyler's condition was made even more pronounced by the fact that his difficulties extended beyond physical pain to include profound cognitive challenges. Episodes of memory loss and difficulty recognizing close family members became part of his daily struggle, compounded by a diagnosis of aphasia, impairing his ability to speak clearly, the very tool central to his career as a communicator of spirits. Fans witnessed a vulnerability in Tyler that contrasted sharply with the confident medium they had come to know, highlighting the human cost behind the celebrity. His health crisis was not simply a medical drama, but a disruption of his identity and purpose. Amidst these challenges, Tyler remained steadfast in his belief that his abilities were real, even if influenced by the physical condition of his brain. This rare openness introduced a new perspective rarely embraced openly in the spiritual community, that extraordinary gifts might have roots in both the seen and unseen worlds, including the biology of the brain. While some viewed this acknowledgement as a concession or even a fall from grace, others saw it as a courageous acceptance of complexity. Tyler's journey brought to light questions that many had quietly speculated, but few had openly discussed. Yet, the full story of how these medical revelations unfolded, how they intersected with his career, his public image, and his understanding of himself, was only beginning to come into focus. Tyler's health challenges set the stage for a deeper exploration of who he is beyond the spotlight and what lies beneath his extraordinary reputation. His early experiences, shrouded in emotion and mystery, reveal how deeply rooted his sensitivity truly was. Early life and awakening. Tyler Henry's journey began far from the glitz and glamour of Hollywood, in the modest town of Hanford, California, where he was born in 1996 into a family grounded in strong traditional values. From a young age, Tyler exhibited an unusual sensitivity, one that was both a gift and a burden. At just 10 years old, a chilling premonition about his grandmother's death came true, marking the start of a life shaped by experiences that defied explanation yet felt intensely real to him. This early moment was more than coincidence. It altered the course of young Tyler's life and set him apart from those around him. For Tyler, these early psychic impressions were not occasional flashes, but constant, invisible streams of information flooding his mind. Details about deceased individuals would come to him seemingly out of nowhere, triggered by personal belongings or even their presence in a room. This connection to the beyond developed quietly but relentlessly, creating a world where the boundaries between life and death felt permeable. However, such heightened perception also bred isolation. In the social environment of school, Tyler struggled profoundly. His emotional differences, combined with challenges related to his sexual orientation, made him a target for relentless bullying. The school system used for his education became the first target for his family when they learned about his treatment. The new environment created two advantages because it protected his physical safety and allowed him to develop his skills without facing any judgment. Tyler completed high school at 16 because he dedicated time to develop his methods for coping with his overwhelming psychic experiences. Tyler developed strong inner strength to overcome the isolation that came with his chosen life path. The hospice nursing career path he selected showed his strong bond with people who stood between existence and non-existence. Tyler envisioned a future where he would bring comfort to dying people through his kind nature and practical abilities. The choice demonstrates his deep empathy for spiritual gifts because he viewed them as a serious commitment, which he established through his personal life experiences. The emergence of his medical issues required him to change his career direction. Tyler grew up in a faith-based family who followed conservative values, which created a comfortable environment that also presented difficulties for him to develop his spiritual identity through his family relationships. The psychic experiences he had in his youth connected to his family loyalty, but also to the traumatic secrets which his family held. His childhood experiences included supernatural projects, but he also faced genuine fears and painful situations. Yet, the bright lights of celebrity would only magnify the complexities underlying his story. Rise to fame in Hollywood. Tyler Henry's rise to stardom was swift and, in many ways, unexpected. At the age of 20, he stepped onto the national stage with the premiere of Hollywood Medium with Tyler Henry in 2016 on the E! Network, a show that would catapult him from a small-town life into the dazzling center of the entertainment world. His ability to deliver highly specific spiritual readings to celebrities quickly made waves, capturing the fascination of millions eager to peek behind the veil of death through a familiar face. The show's popularity soared, with a waiting list for readings expanding exponentially, reflecting his growing status as Hollywood's go-to psychic. Celebrated figures, including members of the Kardashian family and well-known actors, became regular participants, lending Tyler's work a blend of celebrity cachet and emotional sincerity. His reading of Alan Thicke stands out as a pivotal moment, where a prescient health warning seemingly predicted a tragic event months later, further cementing Tyler's reputation in the public eye. These powerful moments created a ripple of belief, curiosity, and awe, amplifying the impact of his seemingly supernatural connection. At the height of his fame, Tyler was thrust into an intense spotlight that demanded not only psychic precision, but also emotional strength. The grueling schedule and high expectations inevitably took a physical and psychological toll. Viewers noticed signs of strain, trembling, sweating, and exhaustion, which contrasted with the composed medium they admired. This tension between the demands of fame and personal well-being foreshadowed the struggles to come. The process of his rapid advancement generated multiple controversies together with critical assessments. His skeptics, together with investigators, doubted his real skills because they believed he used psychological techniques such as cold reading and public information. Activists accused the show's production of preparing material in advance, challenging the portrayal of Tyler's spiritual gift as genuine. The accusations against him created negative effects, which damaged his expanding business operations and caused disputes between his supporters and doubters. Tyler stood firm against the negative reactions to his work because he wanted to practice his profession while helping people who needed closure and connection. His dedication to his clients extended beyond his celebrity status because he felt deep emotional responsibility to support their grief and protect their heritage. His ability to create strong personal connections brought him more realness than what television programs achieved. The combination of health problems and his prominent job responsibilities created increasing difficulties for him to handle. The public learned about Tyler's medical emergencies when his medical problems became known, which changed their perception of him from gifted medium to multifaceted human being. Fans showed empathy toward him because of his vulnerable moments during life challenges. But this led to increased curiosity about his personal life. Tyler's journey reveals the challenging battleground where belief, criticism, and personal cost converge in ways both heartbreaking and revealing. Skepticism and controversy. As Tyler Henry's star ascended, the glare of skepticism grew even brighter. Behind the scenes of the televised spiritual readings, critics and investigators dug deeply into the methods behind his seemingly uncanny accuracy. Many experts in psychology and paranormal investigation suggested that Tyler's results might be explained by cold reading, a technique using subtle hints like body language, attire, and reactions to craft statements that seem personal but are actually broad and adaptable. Activists and skeptics especially focused on the possibility of hot reading, accusing the show's producers of doing extensive research on clients beforehand, mining social media and public records to gather intimate details. These allegations created a rift between believers who were moved by Tyler's emotional connections and skeptics demanding scientific evidence. The investigative group Operation Pizza Roll, led by skeptical activist Susan Gerbic, published detailed reports pointing out that much of the information Tyler relayed was either publicly accessible or could be inferred from contextual clues. Such claims painted a picture of a business model thriving on the grief and vulnerability of clients rather than genuine supernatural insight. For many, this challenged the integrity not only of Tyler's gift, but of the entire phenomenon of celebrity mediums. The scientific journals published research findings which showed that neurologists and psychologists believed part of Tyler's spiritual experiences resulted from temporal lobe epilepsy and other brain disorders. Research studies showed that abnormal brain activity in specific brain regions resulted in people experiencing hallucinations and spiritual connections with the afterlife. The evidence required researchers to study Tyler's performance tremors and fainting episodes and fatigue periods, which now appeared to be related to his brain tumor and seizure activity. Public perception became more complex because the boundary between disease and special ability became less definite. Tyler maintained his public stance about his real abilities even when criticism against him increased. He defended his work as religious duty to people who needed comfort and closure because he believed his readings would bring them emotional healing. His defense against people who attacked him made the argument between personal experiences with spiritual beliefs and people who demanded scientific evidence more intense. People developed two opposite reactions toward him because he refused to accept doubts about his abilities. Tyler did not experience psychological effects from these accusations because they became more urgent. Tyler showed his emotional distress through body language during his public appearances when his fame increased and he had public disagreements. The man behind the camera lights battled more than just his public fame because his problems showed through his physical appearance. The combination of public demand and health issues and negative feedback created a chaotic situation which only few public figures managed to survive. Behind every revelation about the nature of his gift, there was a deeper story about the family he thought he knew but did not. Family secrets and personal struggles. Tyler Henry's journey into uncovering the truth about his family unveiled a story as gripping and painful as any psychic reading. In 2020, amid his rising fame and deteriorating health, Tyler faced an unexpected crisis when he was diagnosed with a pneumothorax, a life-threatening lung condition that forced him to halt his rising career. During this enforced pause, Tyler's curiosity about his family's past deepened, prompting him and his mother, Teresa, to submit to DNA testing in 2021, what they hoped would be a routine search for answers. The test results, however, delivered a bombshell. Teresa was not biologically related to the grandmother Tyler had known as Stella for 25 years. This revelation shattered everything Tyler believed about his origins. It unraveled a decades-old deception, exposing that the woman who raised Teresa was, in fact, a convicted criminal with a dark past. Extensive investigations uncovered Stella Jin's true identity as Stella Nestle, a woman imprisoned for a double homicide during a robbery in 1978. Worse still, private detectives revealed that Stella had kidnapped Teresa from a hospital as an infant, assuming a false identity to raise her in secrecy. The psychological impact of this discovery was immense, shaking Tyler's sense of family and identity to its core. Teresa's emotional collapse upon learning the truth echoed through Tyler's life, highlighting the heavy toll this family secret took on them all. For years, Tyler had struggled to reconcile his spiritual gifts with the very real, complex realities surrounding his loved ones. Family foundations were built on crime and deception, brought waves of doubt not only about the past, but about his own abilities. If Tyler could not perceive these truths earlier, critics argued, what did that mean for the authenticity of his psychic insights? These revelations intensified the skepticism and public scrutiny Tyler already faced. Detractors seized upon the glaring contradiction. How could a medium renowned for uncovering hidden truths be blind to such monumental secrets in his own home? This question formed the core of a renewed wave of criticism that pressured Tyler into a rare admission of limitation. He acknowledged that his spiritual perceptions were clouded when it came to those closest to him, stating he had spent a lifetime searching for answers for strangers, but remained blind to his own family's hidden realities. To uncover Teresa's true heritage, Tyler abandoned spiritual methods and turned to traditional investigative means. He hired private investigators and combed through thousands of pages of historical, medical, and legal documents, an effort documented by the Netflix series Life After Death. This painstaking research eventually led to Teresa's reunion with her biological siblings, a moment both bittersweet and healing, offering some resolution to a stolen past. The emotional weight of reconnecting with unknown family painted a deeply human portrait of someone working in a spiritual field often shrouded in mystique. The unveiling of Tyler's family truths opened the door to the deeper reckoning that would come with his final admissions, where the line between gift and illness blurred more than ever before. Final admissions and new priorities. In January of 2026, after enduring multiple major brain surgeries and a harrowing battle with his health, Tyler Henry finally broke his silence in a series of exclusive interviews. With a tone both calm and fatigued, he openly addressed the long-standing speculation about his medical condition and its connection to his psychic abilities. For the first time, Tyler acknowledged that his physical health had profoundly influenced the experiences that had defined his career. He spoke candidly about the exhaustion that now defined his daily existence, explaining that his body had reached a breaking point and could no longer handle the intense mental and emotional strain. Tyler's honesty marked a notable departure from earlier years when he had guarded the mystery of his gift more closely. He revealed that the congenital brain cyst and its complications were not merely medical obstacles, but were intertwined with the extraordinary perceptions he had experienced since childhood. Reflecting on his unique brain structure, he suggested that pressure from these cysts might have triggered near-death experiences and heightened sensitivities, which fueled his ability to receive information beyond conventional senses. This admission blurred the line between the spiritual and the neurological, offering a new perspective on what had long been viewed as a purely supernatural talent. This new understanding did not diminish Tyler's belief in the significance of his gift, but rather reshaped it. He accepted that his psychic abilities could not be separated from his brain's physical state, embracing the idea that his experiences were both a product of spiritual insight and neurological phenomena. This nuanced position shocked some fans, but resonated with others who had questioned the nature of his power. Tyler's willingness to publicly explore this complexity demonstrated both vulnerability and maturity, marking a turning point in his personal and professional life. Your marriage to Clint Godwin established a sustaining emotional foundation which helped you through his darkest times of health difficulties. Tyler credited Clint's presence with giving him the strength to reconsider his life's priorities. He needed to decrease his workload up to 80% because he understood that enduring life and good health must take priority. Tyler needed to cancel thousands of spiritual readings, which he planned to perform because he dedicated himself to protecting his health and family well-being. Tyler maintained his presence in the spiritual community, although he reduced his public activities. The An Evening of Hope and Healing tour, which he started in spring 2026, included performances in Houston, Texas, and Springfield, Illinois. These appearances carried a new tone, which showed more authentic and vulnerable moments of the medium to fans who had followed him for years. Tyler himself acknowledged that these might be some of the final times he would appear on stage, which showed his decision to leave public life behind in order to receive medical assistance and work on his personal recovery. Tyler Henry's story reminds us that extraordinary gifts often come with hidden struggles, and the truth can be as complex as it is unexpected. His journey blends mystery, resilience, and honesty, inviting us to rethink the boundaries between science and spirit. If you found this exploration compelling, be sure to like and subscribe for more deep dives into the stories behind the headlines.